Hey there, it's Joe from Oops All Games here. Today's review is an exciting one as we dive into the world of Split Fiction, the newest title from Hazelight Studios. This review was written and adapted for video by me, and it's worth noting all gameplay you see has been captured on PlayStation 5 Pro. So grab a friend and let's dive right in. Hazelight Studios has been known as one of the greatest teams to develop co-op games, where you and a friend sit down and play through an adventure working with each other to proceed. Their breakout hit, A Way Out, laid down a lot of the groundwork for their formula, but their big claim to fame was It Takes Two, exploring the mystical nature of a child's imagination and really emphasizing the game's biggest incentive: collaboration! This one took things way further, showcasing all the creativity the team at Hazelight had up their arsenal, winning Game of the Year in 2021. Now the team is back at it again with Split Fiction. As is the case with their other games, this can only be played with 2 players, but luckily only one person needs to purchase the game. All you need to do to play the game with someone is download the Split Fiction Friends Pass app. From there you can send an invite to whoever you wish and get started. The story follows Zoe and Neo, aspiring writers with the hope of getting published. They take a field trip to Raider Publishing where things start to go awry and the pair end up in a simulation of each other's story ideas. From there you go on a variety of adventures through multiple stories with dramatically different themes. Zoe writes fantasy books, so her stories include trolls and spells, while Neo writes sci-fi books, which include space police and nightclubs. These two styles clash together in such a unique way, being the two genres that couldn't be further apart from each other. But swapping back and forth between them feels really nice, and having a break from one to enjoy the other is also a nice touch that makes the game not feel too drawn out. Part of what helps that is this additive called a side story. These are little bubbles that appear throughout the main adventure that bring a completely different take on a story. One of the first ones you can encounter is a level where you play as pigs, going through an adorable little farm world before getting taken in, shall we say, an interesting direction. These side stories feel intrinsic to the overall story of the game, but they aren't required if you don't feel like taking a break from the action. Some of the game's mechanics are nothing to write home about. The combat feels very been there done that with the little of it you have to do. But where this game really shines is in the platforming and the storytelling. Everything you can do in these levels has some kind of meaning, some of which even changing your perspective mentally and literally. This all goes hand in hand with the extraordinarily creative storytelling, which uses the game as a way to propel the story rather than the story propelling the game. The narrative and the way things operate throughout the entirety of the runtime boil down to the fact that it's a game and an experience you can't have by yourself. Literally, the fact multiplayer is actively required with this game makes things a little bit of a challenge if you're one to plow through a story-based game on your own. But this, much like Hazelight's other games, are meant to be played with a friend or partner. Playing a game like It Takes Two on your own won't have the same effect as if you were playing it with someone else, and Split Fiction thrives on that kind of experience. This was a great time with a friend, and sharing that experience with someone made the game all the better. It won't be for everyone, as this does feel more challenging than their prior games at points, but anyone who decides to give Split Fiction a shot is in for quite the exciting time. This is some of Hazelight's best work, and I'm excited for others to give it a shot. If you're wanting to give Split Fiction a chance, it's available right now for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And that was our review of Split Fiction. But of course, we want to know, are you going to give this game a shot? And who are you tag teaming this adventure with? Head on over to the comments section and let us know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all things Oops All Games and Fox, Illinois.